ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our July 10th game day here in the Car Demolition League. We got a couple of Game 4s down in those best-of-5 D-League quarterfinals. Two different series going on. Two series have already ended, of course, Wilkes-Barre and Cincinnati moving on. And, of course, today Toronto and Edmonton look to finish their series off in Game 4 and move on to join them. Easier said than done, but the chase for the Soldiers Cup about to continue next. We got the Toronto Canadiens on the road to battle with the Vancouver Bears. Game 4 in their best-of-5 series. Toronto leads the series 2-1. Let's get you down the field for the action. Here on CDL Live, Alex Johnson still happy about Wilkes-Barre's sweep over Rochester.
It's a good pussy.
It's all coming up on CDL Live. We're talking about prostitution.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Ooh.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CDL Live, and we start off with the D-League playoffs. Game 4 here between the number 1 seeded Toronto Canadiens and the number 8 seeded Vancouver Bears. The Bears, with the home side of the turf tonight, look to even the series up at 2 and force a decisive Game 5. Toronto trying to put the series away and move on to the second round. Let's find out what's going to happen. Canadiens, Bears, our first game, Game 4 in their best-of-5 series. It's next, coming right up on CDL Live. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It's time for the game. Game 4 in this best-of-5 series between the number 1 seeded Toronto Canadiens and the number 8 seeded Vancouver Bears. The Bears got the home side of the field, but their backs are up against the wall here. They're down this best-of-5 series, 2-1. They're looking to tie it and send it to a decisive Game 5. Toronto, right here, trying to end this series here tonight in 4 games. The battle for the Soldiers Cup continuing. Toronto comes out with Ambulance 2, followed by Red 57 T-Bird. At the captain spot will be Highlight, and at 5-point gainer will be 686. To the home side of the field, Vancouver comes out with Party, followed by Green Suzuka. Starts off with Surfer, followed by Green Suzuka. Party at the captain position, and at 5-point gainer will be Saline. So they are trying to protect their 5-point gainer spot, I assume. Usually Surfer is a 5-point gainer, but he starts things off today and goes down right away. 5-0 Toronto. Ambulance 2 hard to take down. Both him and Green Suzuka go down. 10-5 the score. Toronto one flip away from ending the series, but here comes Party to take on Red 57 T-Bird. Interference call, but no flipping. Now they both go down. 15-10 Toronto in the lead. So the tie flip does basically keeps Vancouver's hopes alive. And right now their hope is Saline can flip Highlight and force overtime here. Can he do it? Not going to happen. The Toronto Canadiens get the win here in Game 4. 15-10 the final. And the number 1 seeded Canadiens win the series 3-1. They move on to the second round of the D-League playoffs. Coming up next, Edmonton looks to share the same fate as they did. Oakland looks to avoid the fate that Vancouver just had. What's going to happen? We'll find out. Our next game, number 3 seeded Edmonton Extreme on the road to take on the number 6 seeded Oakland Smashers. It's next on CDL Live. Alright, it's time for our next game. We just saw the Toronto Canadiens hoist out the Vancouver Bears right out of the playoffs. The Edmonton Extreme look to do the same to the Oakland Smashers in our next game. The number 3 seeded Edmonton Extreme on the road looking for the series win as they lead the series right now 2-1. Oakland on home turf. The Smashers looking to tie this series to send it to a Game 5.
Let's find out what's about to happen. It's going to be the Extreme and the Smashers next on CDL Live.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Another playoff game about to take place. Game 4 in this best out of 5 series between the number 3 seeded Western Division champions of the D-League, the Edmonton Extreme, and the number 6 seeded Oakland Extreme, the Oakland Smashers and the Edmonton Extreme. Let me get the names right first before I brought that, right? So Edmonton, with a 2-1 series lead, looking to finish this one up on the road side of the field. Oakland on home turf here, looking to send this series to a Game 5, a decisive Game 5. What will happen? Let's find out. The race for the Soldiers Cup continuing right here on CDL Live this July 10th game day. So the starting lineups for Game 4. For the Edmonton Extreme, number 16 starts things off, followed by 1975. Kodak at the captain spot, and at 5-point gainer, Dale Jr. Home side of the field, Edmonton comes out with Black Shelby, followed by Mazda. Funmill takes the captain spot, and at 5-point gainer will be Bentley. So there we go, Black Shelby and 16 to start this game off. It's going to be 5-0 Oakland. 1975 now out there against Black Shelby, and it's 10-0 Oakland. In the lead here, one flip away from forcing a decisive Game 5, but here comes Kodak. Trying to keep Edmonton in this game, and he does. 10-5. The Extreme fighting back here, but here comes Mazda. Ooh, Mazda almost had him, but Kodak still up. They go at it again. They're both down. 15-10, Oakland in the lead. Dale Jr. trying to force overtime here in Game 4, and he does. Funmill goes down. And now, Game 4 is in overtime. Bentley is out there for the Oakland Smashers. Dale Jr. is out there for the Edmonton Extreme. Dale Jr. gets the flip and the win. This series is over. Bentley gets the flip on Dale Jr. We are going to a decisive Game 5. Here we go. Overtime. Game on here. They both go down. We're going into double OT. So double overtime here. Triple overtime. They both went down again. Fourth overtime. Neither car able to stay up here. And it's over. The Edmonton Extreme get the flip there. Dale Jr. puts the flip on Bentley, and this series is over. In the fourth overtime. Final score 20-15, the final. The Edmonton Extreme win this series 3-1, and we'll move on to round 2. Alright, so what does that mean? That they won the series. We all know they won the series, but basically the number 1, 2, 3, and number 5 seed all advanced. So the matchups for the second round, number 3 seeded Edmonton Extreme will be playing against the number 2 seeded Cincinnati Tigers, and the number 1 seeded Toronto Canadians will face off against the number 5 seeded Wilkes-Barre Scranton Bulls. Toronto, Wilkes-Barre, Cincinnati, Edmonton in the second round of the D-League playoffs. Of course, that doesn't start till July 16th, but nonetheless. We got pro games that need to happen, and they're going to be next on CDL Live. Peace out. Anyways, pro games next on CDL Live. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first round of the 2013 D-League playoffs is over. Here's a little look at what things are shaping up to be as we move into the second round. The number 1 seeded Toronto Canadians will be taking on the number 5 seeded Wilkes-Barre Scranton Bulls, and the number 2 seeded Cincinnati Tigers will match up with the number 3 seeded Edmonton Extreme. Of course, the semifinals are going to be a best out of 3 series. But we got pro games to get down to, and our first pro game coming up, New York Empire on the road to do battle with the New Jersey Bandits. Both these teams are playing for pride in July, but the rivalry between these two teams goes back a little ways, all the way back to '03 as a matter of fact. New York, New Jersey, next on CDL Live. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for pro games here on our July 10th game day. You just saw the Toronto Canadiens and the Edmonton Extreme move on to the second round of the D-League playoffs. And it's time for pro games now. There's only 9 game days left in the pros regular season. We're going to get cut down to 8 right here, right now, today. New York Empire on the road to take on the New Jersey Bandits. Northeast Division rivalry, but neither of these teams are going to be making it to the playoffs. Both playing for pride right here in this rivalry game. Starting off first for New York is Diesel Boy Jr., followed by Esprit. At the captain's spot will be Enzo 1, and at 5-point gainer is going to be Tiku. To the home side of the field, the Bandits come out with Yellow Indy, followed by Cobra. At the captain's spot is going to be Kid Custom, and at 5-point gainer will be Silver Angel. So here we go. Game on. Diesel Boy Jr. and Yellow Indy going at it. Interference call, but there is no flip on the play. Game continues, and it's going to be 5-0 New Jersey. Diesel Boy Jr. goes down. Now comes the Spirit. Interference call, but no flip. So we keep going at it here, and they both go down. That makes the score 10-5. Bandits in the lead over the Empire here. Enzo 1 out there for the Empire. Cobra out there for the New Jersey Bandits. They're both still up. They switch sides plainly. Go at it again. And they're both down. 15-10 New Jersey in the lead. T-Coop going to try to force overtime. Kid Custom going for the win. And it's going to be New Jersey getting the W here today. 15-10, the New Jersey Bandits get the win over the New York Empire. Stick around. Coming up next, Idaho Cowboys, Denver Mustangs on CDL Live. Stay tuned. All right, our next game on tap, the Idaho Cowboys look to keep their season alive for another day here. A loss, and they are out of the playoff race. The Denver Mustangs, who are playing for pride here in July, they're already out of the playoff race, looking to play spoiler. Let's find out what's going to happen in the Central Division matchup, Denver Mustangs, Idaho Cowboys. Next on CDL Live. All right, it's time for our next game. The Denver Mustangs on the road to take on the Idaho Cowboys. Now, Denver, they are out of the playoff race. The Idaho Cowboys, if they don't get any points here today, in other words, if they don't get a win, overtime loss, or a tie, they will be out of the playoff race. So, the Cowboys fighting for their season, fighting for their playoff hopes here in this next game, as they will be all year. And I mean, just to think about it, they really don't hold the key to their destinies, depending on what other teams do too, but a loss here in regulation would definitely come out. So let's find out what's going to happen. Orange Amazon will start things off for Denver, followed by Mach 5. At the captain spot is going to be White Ferrari, and a 5-point gainer will be 308. To the home side of the field, Idaho starts off with Blue Corvette, followed by Arachnarod. Red 07 at the captain spot, and a 5-point gainer will be Scorpion. Here we go. Blue Corvette goes down, 5-0, Denver in the lead. Arachnarod, he'll go down, but so will Orange Amazon. 10-5, Denver in the lead. Red 07 goes down, and the Idaho Cowboys will not make the playoffs. That is official now. 15-5. They lose here today against the Denver Mustangs. And the Mustangs get to play spoiler. Our next game coming up, Tampa Bay and Miami on CDL Live. Stay tuned. All right, in our next game, the Tampa Bay Gators trying to climb the ladder into the playoffs. Very difficult task they are finding to do in that tough Eastern Conference. They're on the road taking on Southeast Division in-state rivals, the Miami Mafia, who they're playing for pride in July. Can't make the playoffs, but they look to play spoiler here against the Gators. Let's find out what happens. Gators, Mafia, next on CDL Live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for more action here on CDL Live. Our next game up, Southeast Division battle, the Tampa Bay Gators on the road to take on the Miami Mafia. Miami right now is playing for pride in that Southeast Division. of course, they're already out of the playoff spots, whereas Tampa Bay, they might be out of the division race, but they are still in the playoff race by hanging on loosely, so they are definitely in the need of wins. So let's find out what happens here. Can they get one on the road against Miami? They'll start things off with Pocket Blaster, followed by Battle. Enzo 3 comes out at the captain spot for Tampa Bay, and that 5-point gainer will be Gold Gunner. It's the home side of the field. Miami Mafia starting things off with Uncle Sam, followed by Mach 6. At the captain spot will be Monkey, and that 5-point gainer will be Retroactive. So here we go. Tampa Bay Gators, Miami Mafia. Game on. Scoreless after one collision. They'll go at it again. Still scoreless. Uncle Sam going up against Pocket Blaster here. Good matchup. And Pocket Blaster gets the flip. 5-0 Tampa Bay. And here comes Mach 6. They'll both go down, him and Pocket Blaster. So score now, 10-5, Tampa Bay. Battle looking to put it away as he goes out there against Monkey. Monkey sending Battle in the air, giving them flying lessons, but Battle is up to the task of staying up, but not that time. And Monkey has tied this game up for Miami, 10-10, and now he'll face Enzo 3, and he'll send Enzo 3 down. 15-10, Mafia in the lead, looking for the upset here. Interference call. Would have had the win there. Gold Gunner trying to force overtime for Tampa Bay, and he does. 15-15. Gators and Mafia going into overtime here. Retroactive out there for Miami. Gold Gunner out there for Tampa Bay. He goes down, but there's an interference called against Retroactive. We'll go at it again here. Game continues here on CDLI. And Miami pulls off the upset victory. Retroactive gets the flip on Gold Gunner, and the Miami Mafia have the win over the Tampa Bay Gators in OT. 20-15 the final. Coming up next, it's a battle in the Lone Star State. Dallas Stars. Next year will be called the Dallas Lone Stars. They'll be on the road to take on the Houston Oilers. That is next on CDLI. Stay tuned, because it's next. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, a classic battle in the Lone Star State. It's been going on ever since '98. The Dallas Stars on the road to do battle with the Houston Oilers. The Stars, one loss away from being eliminated from the playoff race. The Oilers, of course, still have some hope to actually win the Southern Division. Let's see who can get the W here today. Stars, Oilers, next on CDL Live. Alright, it's time for our next game on CDL Live. The Dallas Stars in the same situation Idaho was earlier. They need points in this game, and if they don't get them, they are automatically out. The Houston Oilers looking to make that happen because they need a much-needed 3 points in their playoff hopes, and in their race. They're back towards the bottom of the ladder, and they're still in their divisional race and playoff race, but they can't take many more losses if they want to stay in it. Let's just put it that way. So the Oilers and the Stars, both in need of a win. Let's see who's going to get it. The formulator will start things off for the Dallas Stars tonight, followed by Red Tab. At the captain spot will be McLaren, and a 5-point gainer will be Custom Vet. To the home side of the field now. Houston Oilers start things off with Silver Spider, followed by White Tackle. At the captain spot will be Blue Dragon 2, and that 5-point gainer is going to be Mod Quad. Here we go, Silver Spider and Formula. Game on, and we are going to be tied at 5. Both cars down, and now the two brothers facing off, Red Tail and White Tail. And they're both still up. They'll go at it again. And White Tail is going to be off screen and down. No interference called at all. And we got a 10-5 Dallas lead. But quickly, Blue Dragon 2 will tie this thing up at 10. And now Blue Dragon 2 up against McLaren here. The two captains, and McLaren is down. 15-10 Houston now in the lead. Dallas one flip away from their season. Actually, their playoff hopes ending. And it won't end right there. They have to get back up. Go at it again. 5-point gainer Dallas is Custom Vet.
He's hanging in there. Both him and Blue Dragon 2 went down again. Blue Dragon 2 trying to finish this game, and he does. 15-10 will be the final. The Dallas Stars lose this game, and they are now eliminated from the 2013 playoff hunt. Houston helps their chances with the 15-10 win here against division rivals Dallas today. Coming up next, Pacific Division battle. San Francisco Californians, Seattle Lumberjacks. Next on CDL Live.
Alright, it's time for our next game on CDL Live, just like that. The San Francisco Californians on the road looking for their 6th win of the season. Has not been a good 2013 for them. They'll be on the road against the Seattle Lumberjacks, a team climbing up the playoff ladder slowly but surely, but nonetheless still find themselves in 13th place. See who can get the W here today. San Francisco Californians, Seattle Lumberjacks. Next on CDL Live. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Live. Both these teams, the San Francisco Californians and Seattle Lumberjacks, are going head-to-head today. San Francisco's playoff hopes have already been extinguished. They are actually on track right now to be the holders of the #1 draft pick in 2014. The Seattle Lumberjacks, on the other hand, they are still in the playoff hunt, if not the division hunt. And they are very much in the need of wins. They definitely got to get a move on if they want to catch up and get to that 8th seed playoff spot. Nonetheless, let's find out what happens here today. San Francisco Californians, Seattle Lumberjacks. Mach 5-2 will start off for San Francisco, followed by number 4. Black 3 at the captain's spot, and at 5-point gainer will be Silver Lamborghini. To the home side of the field, Spencer will start things off for Seattle, followed by 42nd. At the captain spot will be Buzz Off, and at 5-point gainer will be Desert Chief. So here we go. Spencer up against Mach 5-2. Game on. Seattle and San Francisco, and it's going to be 5-0 Seattle. Spencer gets the flip. Now comes number 4 for San Francisco here. And number 4 goes down. 10-0. Seattle in the lead looking for the shutout. Black 3 out there for San Francisco. And both him and Spencer are going to go down. This game will end 15-5. The Seattle Lumberjacks get the win over the San Francisco Californians. Trying to climb that ladder a little bit, and they succeed with 3 points here today added to their standings. Coming up next, Detroit Devils, Dayton Rebels on CDL Live. Stay. All right, our next game, the 15th place team of the Eastern Conference, the Detroit Devils, find themselves on the road against division rivals, the Dayton Rebels, who sit 11th place in the Eastern Conference. So, huge matchup. Every game until the end of the year for these two teams is like a playoff game. Much needed wins on both sides. Who's going to get a W here today? Detroit Devils, Dayton Rebels, next on CDL Live. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Live. Our next game is about to happen here. We got the Detroit Devils on the road to do battle with the Dayton Rebels. Quite interesting story between these two division rivals. Detroit's on the brink of being out of a playoff spot. I don't feel like doing the math right now, but I don't think they're going to be out with a loss here today. But nonetheless, they are the last of the surviving teams. You know, let's put it this way: Detroit's in 15th, and everybody's 16th and down in the East. They're out. So, pretty much an important game for them, if you haven't guessed. Dayton Rebels sitting in the 11th seed right now. And they're 13 points out of a playoff spot. So, much needed win for Dayton and Detroit here. Two teams towards the back end of the playoff hunt right now, towards the bottom of the ladder on it. And they go at it today to try to climb a run up or two. Detroit Devils, Dayton Rebels, Northern Division rivalry. Let's take a look at the lineups. Greg Carrera starts things off for Detroit, followed by number 24. Black Dragon at the captain spot, and at 5-point gainer will be Sun. To the home side of the field now.
Yellow 68 will start things off for Dayton, followed by Toad. Darkwing will be at the captain spot for the Dayton Rebels, and a 5-point gainer is going to be Red Jaguar. Here we go, Yellow 68 and Great Carrera, game on. 5-0 Detroit in the lead as Yellow 68 goes down. In comes Toad trying to do battle with Great Carrera here, and he'll tie the game up. So Great Carrera goes down, the score now tied at 5, and now Toad battles with 24. And Dayton now has a 10-5 lead. But here comes Black Dragon for the Detroit Devils, and he'll go down 15-5. Toad goes 3-0. And the Dayton Rebels have the win, 15-5, the final. Huge win for them right now, and a huge loss for the Detroit Devils. See how bad it impacted them. I'm going to show you all the standings after the game day, so stick around for all that when it comes. But our next game coming up, yes, there's more games. 12 more, as a matter of fact. And starting off those last 12 games, we got the Boston Vandals and the Gowanda Outlaws next on CDL Live. Stay tuned.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, our next game on tap, the Boston Vandals will be on the road to do battle with the Gowanda Outlaws. Boston sits 20 points out of a playoff spot. Desperately in need of wins here going into these last few game days here. The Gowanda Outlaws, of course, already out of the playoffs, but would just love to beat a division rival to spoil their chances. Let's find out what's going to happen. Vandals, Outlaws, next on CDL Live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CDL Live. Yeah, you like that improvement to the field? Oh yeah, it's nice. I just did that. I'm getting a smoke in. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. We're gonna see how tough Scotch tape truly is. Can Scotch tape be CDL tough? We will destroy you, Scotch tape. We will destroy you. Okay, it's time for our next game. The Boston Vandals on the road against the Gowanda Outlaws in a Northeast Division battle. Gowanda, they're playing for pride in July. In other words, no playoffs for them. But the Boston Vandals still have a chance. It's a dim chance, just like how Detroit is right now. Dim chance, but still a chance. So definitely Boston, they are in the need of wins, and they look for one today. Gowanda, they're just looking for wins just for shits and giggles and looking to upset teams like Boston and to play spoiler here. Let's find out what's going to happen in this game. Boston, Gowanda, the starting lineups. For the Vandals, we got Silver Suit coming out first, followed by Red Medina for them, followed by Monkey Ball, and that 5-point gainer will be Purple Indy. To the home side of the field, Gowanda comes out with Luke Camaro 2, followed by Triple Threat, Lamborghini at the captain spot, and that 5-point gainer will be Gold Mercedes. I wonder about the change in Boston's lineup. If they're going to go at it here. Almost an interference call, but not quite. About a centimeter away, but Blue Camaro goes down. Blue Camaro 2. There was an original one, but I think he's gone now. Anyway, 5-0 Boston. Triple Threat almost tied the game up there. But instead, it's going to be 10-0 Boston. Silver Sword getting it done here. Lamborghini, he'll go down, and 15-0 the Vandals dominate the Gowanda Outlaws in a shutout here today. And if Alex Johnson was here with me right now, you see the broom running across the field, but the Outlaws lose this game in a shutout. 15-0. Coming up next, Green Bay Dragons home against the Bradford Brawlers on CDL Live. Stay tuned.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, our next game on tap, the last game of part 1 here of our July 10th game day. The Bradford Brawlers already have a playoff spot clinched, and they're on the road looking to get a few more points closer, trying to catch up to Pittsburgh in the Northern Division. This is when they love a division title after a rural title. But anyways, they're on the road against a team playing for pride in July, the Green Bay Dragons, and they know they're not going to make it to the playoffs, but a win over the defending champs is something nice to keep in your memories, I suppose. Let's find out who can get the W here today. Brawlers, Dragons, next on CDL Live, the conclusion of Part 1 of this July 10th game day. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to CDL Live and our next game. Definitely a contrast here, a huge difference between these teams. The Bradford Brawlers right now have a playoff spot clinch. They're trying to win their division. They are 8 points behind the leading Pittsburgh Destroyers in the Northern Division. So that's their reason to win games right now, is trying to move up from that 4th seed that they are securely in hold of. And Green Bay on the home side of the field here, they're playing for pride. They are out of a playoff spot, so really, Green Bay Dragons just looking to, give the fans a show and try not to get slaughtered here, so to speak. But nonetheless, let's find out what's going to happen. Heavily favored Bradford Brawlers start off with Spinebuster, followed by Green Indy. At the captain spot will be Escalade, and at 5-point gainer is going to be Dirty Rat. To the home side of the field, Blitzen starts things off for Green Bay, followed by, we got a little FXX. The one who takes the captain spot, and at 5-point gainer will be Red Pork. So here we go. Blitzen and Spinebuster team on. And it's going to be 5-0 Brawlers on the first collision. Yellow FXX out there trying to tie this game up. Can't do it. 10-0 Bradford. Now comes the one. And the one gets taken down easily. And Spinebuster at easy 3-0 here today. The Bradford Brawlers dominate the Green Bay Dragons. Shutout. Sweep. 15-0. World champs. Showing why they are world champs. Coming up next, Puerto Rico plays Atlanta Avengers Southeast Battle on CDL Live. Stay tuned.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.